9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Aerospace NOTAM podcast where we are previewing the Dubai Airshow 2025. I'm Tim Robinson, Editor-in-Chief of Aerospace Magazine, and with me is Deputy Editor Steve Bridgewater. Steve.
Hi guys. Looking forward to this. This is going to be a great week.
So we're recording just really before we fly. If you hear this, we might be on the plane already. And we're looking forward to Dubai Airshow. It's always a highlight every 2 years in the Airshow calendar. But this week, this year, it's going to be even more exciting. We've got rival stealth fighters, we've got eVTOLs in the air display, and the 40th anniversary of the global airline phenomenon that is Emirates, isn't it, Steve?
It is. It's going to be a memorable year. I think we know that Emirates always push out the stops at Dubai, but for their 40th anniversary, I'm looking forward to something very special. So I think it'll be all eyes on the sky on the first morning of the show, won't it?
Yeah, I mean they always like to do incredible flying displays. I mean we've seen some amazing stuff from Emirates in past years, haven't we? I mean not only display teams, but putting one of their cabin crew on the top of skyscrapers, flying with Jetman. So one only can wonder about what treats they have in store. This year it's going to be a bigger ever air show than ever before. They've got 1,500 plus exhibitors, 200 aircraft and flying display display, 400 speakers in conferences and forums going on that week. It's going to be bigger and better than ever before. Flying display wise, what are we looking forward to?
Well, I think the highlight is going to be the Su-57, isn't it? An aircraft I've not seen before, and that is going to be a real showstopper. But interestingly, in the flying display, F-35 as well. So I think only the second time that the two aircraft have been on the same bill. I think Aero India was the first time earlier this year, wasn't it, Tim?
That's right. I mean the Russians will be there. Dubai is a melting pot between east west. So you're going to have Russia, you're going to have China there that you don't see in at least in Western air shows now. So that's going to be really interesting. You know, super maneuverability of the Su-57. The other thing also a highlight is going to be an eVTOL in the flying display. So Joby are going to be flying their S4.
And well, we know they've been doing lots of trials out in the Gulf. In fact, we've got an article in the latest issue of the magazine, haven't we, on eVTOLs in the Gulf and the push towards trying to get advanced air mobility certified in the Emirates. So very apt. But yeah, we saw Volocopter at Paris a couple of years ago. But it'll be interesting now to see what Joby have got to offer.
And I think it'd be really. I mean, it's really part of that a milestone in public acceptance, isn't it? Is to show the general public, visitors, etc., how quiet they are, how manoeuvrable they are. It's going to be interesting to not only for the quietness, but also do these things have to turn into wind? How close do you have to be? Can they fly them? I seem to recall at Paris for the Volocopter that was quite a way in the distance, wasn't it? So it'd be interesting.
It was. Yeah, and it was quite a low-level display as well. So, I think very different in real-world environment. But I think there's a lot more space going to be available at Dubai. So, obviously, Paris is quite a constrained area. So, we did see that Volocopter stayed within the confines of the airfield itself. I think we might see Joby climbing a little bit higher, possibly.
All right, predictions for that. Watch this space. Also returning this year is going to be Boeing 777X prototype that's coming back. That'll be their first airshow routine since 2022. They kind of pulled back there on the overseas stuff, and also China's Comac C919 will be flying the flying display. We saw that in Singapore in 2023. So that'll be another interesting thing that you don't really sort of see before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and display teams as well. Obviously, the home team are going to be there. Al Fursan, the Knights, which is the UAE's own display team, fly the Air Mackie MB339. And rumours of all sorts of other teams as well. So it's, as always with Dubai, you never know what's going to be there until you turn up through the gates. But the rumour mill has been rife this year about teams coming in from potentially Morocco or India. So I am very excited to see some things I've not seen before. I think one of the other stars of the flying display, we've got the F-16, which is 50 years old, but it's still a showstopper.
Great stuff, yeah. So the other thing, moving on, obviously, Dubai we know is a mega hub for commercial aviation, civil aviation. It's an aerotropolis. We've already said it's the 40th anniversary of mega carrier Emirates. If you haven't already read it, go to the Aerospace Society Insight blog and have a read about the personal archives of founder Sir Maurice Flanagan. Absolute aviation legend, poet, playwright, and the founder of Emirates. So they're currently obviously a global phenomenon, but they are still waiting for delayed Boeing 777X. So I can imagine there might be some sort of interesting headlines there, a little bit of frustration, kind of creeping in. That it's now delayed. First delivery is now delayed to 2027. It's been a bit of a wait. I mean, they ordered it back in 2013, so still waiting. But that said, Boeing are in a bit of a better position than they were, kind of 12 months previously, 2 years previously.
Absolutely. With as you said, this has been their first appearance in a flying display since 2022. They've had customer aircraft at Paris and Farnborough, but we all know the woes that Boeing has been through with the Max and with delays on the 777 program. It'll be nice to see them back on the international stage, and be interested to see what the execs have to say about the future, what the future holds.
Yeah, and obviously Airbus will be there as well. Airbus recently, their A320 family recently passed the 737 as the best-selling ever jet airliner. So that's a great milestone. I mean, Airbus is sitting like Boeing. They're sitting on record backlogs there. So, but they're having some complaints from customers. There's still supply chain issues there coming through, and there's still engine issues, incredibly. And what's also a little bit of a kind of setback is their latest A321 XLR. It's got the 4,700 nautical mile range. Last year, when I was at Routes, there was much excitement on the airlines about long and thin routes. But Wizz Air, who were hoping to open up new routes using it to the Middle East from Europe, they've just reduced their commitment for XLRs from 47 to just 11 and axed their Abu Dhabi joint venture.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see is that a one-off, or are other XLR kind of customers there kind of also sort of reconsidering? I mean, that could be a little bit of an opportunity there for that, and also the fact that there is massive backlogs with Airbus and Boeing. That could be there for an opportunity for other entrants, or Embraer, Comac even. Or even, thinking a little bit further ahead in, kind of new entrants in terms of Boom, Jet Zero, outbound, in terms of next generation airliners. So yeah, I mean, the other thing also to look out for at the show is Saudi Arabia's rise to try and replicate kind of the success of Dubai. It's not going to notice. They've got a ambitious Vision 2030 initiative to turn Saudi Arabia into a travel, tourism, business hub, reduce the dependence on oil. And spearheading that is Riyadh Air, which is aiming to do, really sort of replicate Emirates' success story. Do we think they can do it?
Well, they are certainly going great guns, aren't they? And route proving flights recently into Heathrow. I would not put it past them.
Well, I mean, they've got plenty of resources behind them, certainly. And I think, I mean, you talk to them and you talk to, to Gulf carriers and airline CEOs in the region, and what one of the things they'll sort of say is, there's enough to go around for everybody. The traffic demand is there, and also the young people in Saudi Arabia, the growing middle class who are desperate to travel, even if you took away all the, even if you took away all the international routes, there's still, a massive pent-up demand that currently isn't being served. So, one to watch anyway for this region. The other thing also, sustainability. It's always been big on airlines' agendas, been on aerospace's, sustainability, climate change. It's not gone away. But I think we could probably sort of say, geopolitics, political shifts in the US, tariff wars, supply chain issues, conflicts, have meant that it is now a kind of lower profile a little bit in some respects. Would that be fair to say?
I think so. We've half jokingly said, when we've gone to trade shows over the last 3 or 4 years, that you could almost play sustainability bingo. Yeah, every press conference has got sustainability. How many times are we going to mention sustainability in this press conference? Whereas we saw at Paris this year, it's really not dropped off the radar completely, but it's dropped down the priority list. So, I think we won't be having our bingo cards out at Dubai.
No, it's almost a little bit is kind of taken as read in a little bit now, is that you have to build in sustainability to whatever you're doing, whether it's a new airport, a new airline. People will now expect it, so that is there. The targets really haven't gone away, and I think that they're important there. It's maybe important there to still have those goals in mind, to still strive to achieve them. But I think there has been a bit of a reality check in some respects in sort of scaling up SAF, and also some of the more projects that have fallen by the wayside. People doing hydrogen electric aircraft, etc., hybrid aircraft, where the investors have either just lost patience or they've maybe kind of just run out of time. Talking.
Well, it's in a similar fashion with advanced air mobility, isn't it? There were lots of very bullish promises made at the start, and which has obviously brought in a lot of funding and a lot of good publicity at the time. But the industry has been perhaps a little slow to realise the potential that was promised. And I think it's the same with the sustainability project. We were promised hydrogen, hybrid electric, and it's all coming. But it's not coming at the rate that was initially promised by some of the big players.
Yeah, and talking of new priorities, obviously defence will be front and centre at the show. We've already talked about the Su-57, but there's obviously going to be ongoing lessons from the war in Ukraine. That was shaping acquisition, especially the sort of proliferation of drones. Middle East Air Arms will be looking at that. But I think the big thing there is going to be lessons from conflicts closer to home, and especially with missile defense, integrated air and missile defense, and what Israel has, Israel's conflicts there, and Israel versus Iran. And how that relates to some of the requirements, capabilities, etc., etc. You're thinking about things like defending against ballistic missiles, drones, those sorts of questions and challenges. I think will be uppermost in people's minds. Interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. Also, on the drone side of things, we've seen a lot of trade shows where new CCAs, autonomous drones, have popped up. So we're keeping an eye out for any new drones, any autonomous type combat air vehicles that are coming out there, and those sorts of partnerships. As well as the Su-57 there. Other sort of military highlights, I think, the Yak 130M advanced trainer. And we've also got Eurofighter there, and Embraer will bring in their KC-390 and a new company livery as well. So the KC-390 really has been on Millennium, really been on a roll. And F-35, you mentioned the F-35 earlier, Steve, and one of the latest bits of news there is that the US is apparently kind of going through and considering approving a sale to Saudi Arabia. Now that is a major shift in policy. A reversal of previous policies that where they say, well, we're only going to authorize the most advanced military technology sold to Israel. Everybody else gets sort of second tier stuff. If that goes through, the UEA has been asking for F-35 for quite a while now. Will that change things in the Gulf? We had not 2 years ago, but 4 years ago, we had the Su-75 Checkmate.
Oh yes, yeah.
Revealed by Russia, Sukhoi, which was it was basically pitched as an F-35 alternative for countries who couldn't get F-35. It's gone very quiet there. Not only the Su-75, but also its perfume that came with it.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to learn what progress there is for that, or whether it's just gone by the wayside now, and Russia is just they're in war mode. They've got a wartime economy, and whether that's just been kicked into the long grass. What else have we got? We got advanced air mobility. So they are counting down to commercial air taxi services in 2026. Joby will be there. Archer will be there. Also auto flight. But I think also what will be interesting is looking at all the infrastructure perhaps that goes with it. There's landing pads, there's vertiports being built as we speak. So it'll be interesting to see how this is sort of coming together. Not just the air vehicles as well, it's the infrastructure and how it fits in. And one of the things is, for anybody who goes to Dubai, you're probably well familiar with the gridlock, the traffic jams, and the idea of being able to zip downtown in 10 minutes rather than spend hours and hours queuing in the intense city traffic. I think will if there's a killer app for eVTOL air taxis. Dubai has got it, hasn't it? Skipping over the traffic. Spaceflight. We've got spaceflight. This is going to be as big as Spaceflight Pavilion this year. That's right.
I believe so. Yeah. Bella has been doing a lot of research on the space side of things for us. I think we've seen a lot of space announcements in the region previously. We know that UAE is very, very big on its space programs. We've had the first UAE astronaut in 2023 spent 6 months on the ISS, and it is a stated aim of the region to improve and to build on its space sector.
Well, yeah, and neighbouring Oman has recently approved the region's first commercial spaceport.
Yeah.
So they're looking at a spaceport as well, and I think also because. So if you think about the news as well coming from the US, where you could sort of say NASA is in turmoil, a little bit of turmoil really. There about what their focus is, proposed cuts. I think it's kind of opening up the space for smaller countries like the UEA, perhaps to be to kind of forge their place a little bit. If the US kind of pulls back from some projects and people are still looking for partners, I think that's probably kind of an interesting angle there on new partnerships in space as things kind of sort of change. We've already sort of seen, if you think about the lunar space race between China and the US, and then also private space flight, what happens after the ISS? Lot of people proposing space hotels, manufacturing in space, and things like that.
You mentioned earlier that Comac are going to be at the show, so yeah, we know that Dubai straddled east and west. So I think Chinese space sector is undoubtedly going to be on display in the space pavilion. Be interesting to see what hardware they have on show in terms of satellites and launch vehicle mock-ups, and also just to see what projects they're working on.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing also is general aviation. So, Steve, general aviation is your specialist mastermind subject. Far away. What have we got?
It is. At last I get to talk about my beloved GA. We said earlier it's Emirates' 40th anniversary, so I think it's safe to assume that Emirates Flight Training Academy will play a big role in the show. They're exhibiting at least one example of their DA-42, the Diamond DA-42, which is the aircraft they use for multi-engine training. They've also got the Cirrus SR-22 there, so that will be part of Emirates Flight Training, but also Cirrus themselves are exhibiting aircraft. The Cirrus SR-22 has been the best-selling light aircraft now for many, many years. A real technology leap in terms of not just airframe, but the logistics that goes with it. I interviewed Alan Clapmeyer, the designer, many years ago, and he was very vocal on the fact that if you want to learn to fly, you want to fly an aeroplane, you want the same amenities you have in a luxury car. And it's little things like the air vents actually point and blow cold air on you, which whereas previous generations of aeroplanes, you were perhaps lucky if you could get any air at all, let alone whether it was cool or warm. So little things like that, it really has been a game changer for our industry. And the other aircraft, which I'm really looking forward to seeing from Emirates Flight Training Academy, is their Gamebird. So we've spoken a lot in the magazine about upset and recovery training, putting potential airline pilots through the training syllabus to get out of unusual attitudes, stalled spins, things like that. Emirates have bought the Gamebird to do this job, which is a bit of an extreme aircraft. So Gamebird was designed by Philip Steinbach. You may have seen the SBAC at air shows and the Extreme 42, which is his aircraft as well. Interesting. So Philip is German. He designed the Gamebird in the UK, and it's now being produced in Arkansas by Game Composites, which is a company that was co-founded by Stuart Walton. And Stuart Walton is one of the heirs to the Walmart dynasty. So big funding behind that. The aircraft incredibly popular now in competition and airshow aerobatic fields. But interesting to see that now being moved over into the UPRT field. Yep. So, yeah, I would like to think we'll see an example of that in the flying display next week at Dubai. I mean, the Gamebird really is a phenomenal machine. Talked about Diamond a little bit earlier with the DA-42. Diamond themselves are exhibiting their DA-50 and their DA-62 at the show. So the 62 is a larger version of the 42. Crossover there with the military in that they are also exhibiting the MPP version, which is their multi-purpose platform. And that is intended for surveillance, law enforcement operations, things like that. So you'll see a number of lumps and bumps and sensors and cameras underneath the aircraft, which is exhibited. What else have we got? We've got Bristol are going to be there. So that's a Belgian company, Bristol. They will be bringing their latest version of the B-23, which is a two-seat ultralight. The example on show is actually going to be the IFR-equipped version for instrument training. So initially started as a kit-built aircraft, a home-built ultralight, available now as a production aircraft as well. And clearly with the IFR one, they're marketing this towards the flying school market. So that's one ultralight. The other ultralight that's going to be at the show is the Shark. Now, I know, Tim, we've seen the Shark at a number of events over the last few years, most notably with Zara Rutherford and her brother Mac, who flew these aircraft around the world solo, in turn becoming the youngest female to fly around the world, and then Mac the following year became the youngest person to fly around the world solo. The Shark is a really interesting aircraft. It's it's a two-seat tandem, very, very sleek looking. We talk about ultralights, and you think, the microlights of old. This is a very sleek looking all composite machine. with a cruise up to almost 200 knots, 190 knots at 10,000 feet. And again, military application for this. So, we've seen examples provided to Ukraine recently, which they're now using in the electronic warfare role, and also for tracking drones and jamming them. So again, interesting crossover.
So, in other words, as well as the heavy metal of fighters, as well as the big stuff from airliners, there's going to be a real treat there with the light aircraft. As well as the flying display, as well as static, as well as press conferences. The new thing this year is going to be Airshow After Dark. So the sun goes down, the party is set to go on. The gala dinner, obviously, is if you've ever been to the air show, the gala dinner is always the hottest ticket of the year to get to. Very exclusive VIP event on the Thursday night. But they're now extending that earlier in the week. They've got party on the runway Monday night at Skydive Dubai. Then there's sort of like static line party in the evening on Tuesday night. I think there's some kind of evening golf on the Wednesday night. I'm not sure on that. But talk about extending the air show after dark experience and for guests who are there. I think that's a really great idea. But the other thing is, talking about the traffic earlier, it helps spread out people, the rush of people leaving the air show, and
it staggers the departures, doesn't it? We've seen this at air shows in the US as well now, and with increasing amounts of at night air shows which have done exactly the same thing. It's going to be nice to see some of those aircraft lit up off the ramp, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, definitely. And a whole new atmosphere as well, and get some great pictures and relaxed evening networking. So what's not to like? Biz jets are going to be out in force.
Yeah, and Dubai is known for its wealth and its glitz, and so where better place to promote your business jets? All the big OEMs are going to be there. Everybody from Cirrus, who will have their Vision jet, which is the V-tailed single-engined, very light jet, through to the likes of Textron, who've got their latest Citation Latitude. Pilatus will be there with the PC-24. Obviously, Dassault will be there with two versions of their Falcon, both the 6X and the 8X. And Gulfstream. So Gulfstream will be there. They'll have the G700 and the 800. In fact, it's interesting. One of the Gulfstreams actually been exhibited by Deerjet rather than the Gulfstream themselves, and that was China's first business jet operator. Been operating now since 1995. So, obviously, we're used to the OEMs bringing aircraft in, but as well, looking down the participation list, there are a number of both local and international bizjet operators coming in to show their aircraft off to potential customers, leasers, people that want to buy into fractional ownership, that type of thing. So there'll be, I think, the full gamut there of bizjet aircraft.
It's interesting covering the business jet, covering business aviation, or keeping an eye on it as we do, is how the long range, the large cabins have kind of driven the market. I mean, you think about it, sort of 20 years ago, VLJs, people were talking, I mean, there's going to be obviously the Vision jet there, but people were excited about, can you make bizjets smaller? Well, actually, when you look at the Chinese market and especially the Middle East market, the Gulf market, it's these very high net worth individuals who've got the cash, and they want a large cabin bizjet to on standby that they own. they're not going to share it with people, and maybe with the range to go, these ultra long range, capability. So interesting how large cabins you would think, hang on, well maybe the technology would enable kind of more VLJs by now, and for them to sort of kind of supplement, kind of twins and things like that, high-end twins. But I mean, the PC-12 is still going. PC-12 is still going great guns, and it's what we're on PC-12 NGX by now.
We are, yeah, and but it's interesting. I said earlier that Pilatus are bringing the PC-24, which is their business jet. So that's pitched as an ideal follow-on to the PC-12 turboprop. And in typical Pilatus fashion, it can operate from gravel strips and grass strips. And yet again, a crossover into the military. We've seen in the last week that the French Navy have acquired PC-24s for pilot training. So, we know the Embraer Phenom is in use in the UK. So, I think it just emphasises that within our sector there is so much crossover between the civil world and the military world, but also the GA and the business world and the military world as well.
Yeah, so as well as the static line, flying displays, stuff going on in the exhibition hall, stuff going on in the exhibition halls to see. There's also a packed series of conferences and forums going on during the week. Over 450 expert speakers, 4 stages, 12 tracks of conferences and forums, as well as also a special focus on the next generation of aerospace workers, next gen leaders, students, STEM outreach. That is a big, a big challenge for the global aviation and aerospace industry as a whole. Skills, the next generation, where do these people come from? So again, that's going to be great there for engaging young talent and getting people there to sort of see what opportunities are available. Get among the conferences and forums. I mean, you've got astronauts there, airline chiefs, advanced air mobility innovators, OEMs to talk to, inspiration and innovation, and you've also got the air show is also preceded by the Dubai International Air Chiefs Conference, which takes place on 16th November, and that's always sort of an interesting one for defence news as well that comes out of that show. And we've also got this next week. We've got the RAS president, Alistair Wood. He is our current president. He will be out and about at the show from Monday to Thursday. If you are a member, a fellow, or a corporate partner, please do reach out, get in touch with us. You know where to find us. But he will also be giving the Sir Maurice Flanagan lecture on Thursday. That will be from 7 to 8 at the Emirates Aviation Training College. It's a free lecture, and he'll be talking about a defining era for vertical lift. Sir Maurice Flanagan lecture, our UEA branch, that is their the highlight named lecture. So I urge you, if you're on there on the 20th of November, Thursday evening, and you're at a loose end, go along to that lecture. It's promising to be a real sort of standout presentation from our president, and also meet members of our UEA branch, etc.
It's always a great networking opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're about to kind of wrap up now, aren't we? So Steve, do follow us along, do catch up with us. Where can people catch up with us? I'll still be on X tweeting away at the show, as will Steve, myself, but we'll also be posting on LinkedIn, the Society's Insta, and all places in between.
Yeah, as usual, you'll find me mostly on Facebook and LinkedIn. Big push at the show this year to increase the amount of video content we're putting out as well. So keep looking out for our reels on Insta. We've got Roy, our social media guru, joining us at the event this year as well. So we know from the events Roy's covered in the past, his video skills are legendary.
Yeah, excellent. And if you're out of the show, if you're going to be out of the show, do get in touch with myself or Steve. Do let us know. Do say hello. Drop us a line, send us an email, drop us a DM, what have you, and we'll be happy to go and say hello.
Yeah, see what news you've got. Let us help spread your word.
Brilliant. All right. Well, on that note, we'll both better go and get packed.
Yeah, I'll go find my suitcase, which is buried somewhere. No, I'm looking forward to it. I think the one exhibitor I'm looking forward to going to find is the cloning machine, because I think at the moment, Tim and I, we need at least 2 of us to cover the show, because 2 Tims and 2 Steves, because there seems to be so much going on this year.
Yeah, we're not short of news. All right, well, we'll see you in Dubai.
See you there. Bye-bye.
Bye.